Well, hello there, vinyl community, music community, Beatles community. How you doing? It's Matt. I'm back. Yes, I'm still in existence. I am still around. I know it's been about 3 weeks since my last video when I did my top 10 Beatle finds countdown for 2017. You can still hear it a little bit in me. I'm a little bit congested still. Yes, folks, I've been sick for the last couple of weeks. Well, a couple of different things happened what delayed me doing another video. First being I had a training at work for a couple of weeks. I was doing a training and that tied me up for a while. I mean, it was long days, and by the time I got home I was just so burned out that, you know, no time to sit down and plan out or do a video. And then to compound that, I got sick in the middle of the training, started getting sick anyway, and it slowly grew till the end of the training about a week ago, where I just had this hellacious, bad, rotten cold. And I just couldn't shake it. And I'm one of these people that I hardly ever get sick. Rarely do I get sick. I have a pretty good immune system. But when I do get sick, it knocks me on my butt, and it's hard for me to bounce back. So it took me a couple of weeks to get over that. So it's been a while. It's been well over 3 weeks since I did a video, but I'm finally feeling a little better. Training's done at work. I have a little more free time. Starting to think of some things I can do for videos. Certainly want to do some more store visits for you and get that going. But in the interim, I figured I'd just get something going. I want to thank James Griffiths, Beatle James, for coming up with this idea. It gets me back on my feet again doing a quick video. And maybe in the next few days I'll try to do another one. But he did a thread recently about humorous or funny album covers, and I watched a couple of the videos about it. One of the main ones I did watch was obviously James's, which was great, and then I watched Paul, Fit to be Tie-Dyed's, and they both had some really funny ones. I mean, I was telling Paul in my note back to him, Fit to be Tie-Dyed, that, I mean, some of his cracked me up. I wouldn't have even thought of them. And he had some real funny ones, and so did James. But anyway, I thought I'd do my take on it. And again, mine aren't so much crack up, hilarious, funny, as they are kind of mildly humorous. And I figured I'd start with the Beatles, and I'm going to end today with the Beatles. So I'll start with the Beatles one, work my way through some albums for you that I thought were kind of mildly humorous, and then we'll go from there. First one I have is a kind of a fan club only release, but you could get this in the stores. It's called The Beatles. I'll give you the official title, Last Night in Hamburg, The Beatles. I always thought this was a funny, little quirky Beatles album cover, a caricature of the Beatles, drawing. And I always thought it was pretty funny. And they put it on the label. And in this little packet, you got a nice little poster. And I'll show you that. It's in all its glory of the cover. I thought that was pretty funny. I always thought it was kind of a humorous Beatles album cover, kind of different, Paul, kind of different the way they did this little drawing of the Beatles with the elongated heads and facial features. So I thought it was pretty funny, and I'd show you that one first. And actually, it's a good little album. It's not the complete Hamburg sessions. You get like 28 songs. It's pretty good. This came out a while ago, and at the time it was probably the best quality Hamburg recording I had, and you got like 28, 27 songs, which were pretty good. So I would rank this way up there. Since then, I've gotten some fan club only releases that are the complete Hamburg sessions, which are much better. You get more songs, more stuff. But for the time, when I got this in the store back in the day, it was the best one I had. And again, kind of funny cover. Okay. All right, I always thought this was kind of humorous. One of my favorite Kinks albums of all time, Low Budget. I'll take it out of the plastic for you so you can see it better. Okay. Low Budget by the Kinks. A little glare there, but I always thought it was kind of funny, kind of humorous. You know, you got the possible lady of the evening here, whatever you want to, or just a woman in sexy high heels and toenail polish, standing on a street near a curb, a wet curb with God knows what's on the curb, and some used cigarette butts with lipstick on them. The Kinks, Low Budget from 1979. I thought this was kind of a humorous cover. All right, these next two, he was one of my favorite comedians back in the day, and two of his album covers I just thought were kind of funny and humorous when I was younger. Steve Martin, his first one, Let's Get Small, from back in 1977 or 78, I want to say. 77, his first comedy album. Steve Martin was one of those comedians, when I was a teenager, he just cracked me up. I mean, I saw his movie, The Jerk. If you've ever seen that movie, I recommend it. If you want just straight out silliness, check out The Jerk, his first ever movie, which came out a couple of years after this. But Steve Martin, Let's Get Small, I always thought that was kind of a funny album cover. Here's the back. Okay, his second one wasn't that funny. It was the one that has King Tut on it. I forget what it was called, Wild and Crazy Guy or something. The cover isn't that funny, but his third comedy album, Comedy Is Not Pretty, I always thought that cover was pretty funny. And the back. And inside, gatefold. Kind of silly. All right. Okay, here's an artist. I don't know. I just thought a couple of their albums were kind of funny, quirky looking. The first one is Freddie and the Dreamers, wearing their pajamas and night hats. Kind of silly. Again, my picks, as you can see, folks, are kind of just mildly humorous. They're not crack up, raving funny. And I'm trying to be a little bit different by pick some quirky ones that I had. And here's their other one. Freddie and the Dreamers, Do the Freddie. You've ever heard the song Do the Freddie? That's just funny in itself. Check out Do the Freddie. Just a funny song, but I always thought this was a little funny cover. Again, mildly humorous, not looking to get any belly laughs here. Certainly, I'm sure I'm not, but I always thought this was kind of quirky. Buddy's first album, The Chirping Crickets. You know, they kind of look like a bunch of Revenge of the Nerds. You ever see the movie Revenge of the Nerds with Robert Carradine? Well, I always thought that this band would have fit good in playing in that movie. Revenge of the Nerds. They do look kind of quirky in this picture. So anyway, The Chirping Crickets, so that was kind of a funny album cover. This one, you know, the pictures on it are pretty good, but if you know the content of this album, and if you want to know the content of this album, just either listen for yourself or just go ask Ed from the King's Court. He'll tell you all about it. About it, believe me. It's a raver, folks. It's called Having Fun with Elvis on Stage. If Elvis ever came the closest he came to putting out a comedy album, a talking-only comedy album, as it says up there, a talking album only, this would be it. And I guess more for the content I'm showing this one than the cover. I mean, those are some pretty good pictures of the King there, but if you know the content of this album, it is kind of a funny album cover. The Elvis Talking Only album. Check it out. You'll know what I'm talking about, or just ask Ed. He'll tell you all about it. I only have one of their LPs on vinyl here, but, you know, they're always kind of good for a laugh. The Chipmunks. All right, the very best of the Chipmunks, which seems kind of silly in itself, if you can consider anything best by the Chipmunks. But there you go. All right, Chipmunks. Okay, this is from the Parents collection, so I'm not going to go there. I don't know what the background is to this or anything. I've seen it online and stuff, and I just happen to have it after all these years. But I always thought this was, from when I was a little kid, kind of a funny album cover. Is David Rose's The Stripper. So, I don't know, still cracks me up to this day. I can remember being a kid and you'd play that first song, The Stripper, and you just would start laughing. You know, if you know that song, you know what I'm talking about. It just makes you chuckle. It's got to be that childhood sense of humor that's still within me, I guess. But, yeah, I always thought that was kind of a funny album cover. Okay. I always thought this was a funny album cover. The Who. The Who Sell Out. You know, you got Roger there basking in a tub full of Heinz baked beans. You got Pete with the Odorano deodorant under his armpit. Oh, God. Keith Moon here with Medac, trying to get rid of zits or pimples or spot remover, whatever. Entwistle there with his lady on his arms, and don't know what that's supposed to be all about. But anyway, I just always thought this was kind of funny. The Who sell out. All right, here's a real raver for you. If anything, it's more for just, I don't know why I have this. I couldn't tell you what reason I have this or how I acquired it or where it came from. Maybe it was in a pile of other records, but I just, for some reason, I've never been able to part with it. Maybe one day I'll do a album destruction on a video and show you this, but that's just a funny album cover. Travolta Fever. Cashing in on that Saturday Night Fever, a deluxe 2-record set. Cashing in on that Saturday Night Fever rage. And for those of you that want to see the back cover, it's even funnier. Well, so let's see the whole thing in its glory. What do you say, huh? Whoa! Suitable for framing. Travolta Fever. Oh, gee, I got another picture inside I can show you. Travolta Fever. Yeah. What do you say? Huh? Folks, I've never listened to this whole thing. I can't even tell you. The only thing I can recognize on it is the first song on side 1 was a top 10 hit for him, I believe, called Let Her In. Let Her In. The rest of them, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you the quality, but I do remember Let Her In making the top 40. Okay, getting down, I only got a few left. From when I was a little kid, this is my original from the early 70s. I always thought this was funny. You know, it's that kid humor again. You got the zipper. Still works. Wow, look at that. After all these years. Got the zipper. Let's undo the belt. Buckle, and there you go. I mean, come on. Is this not funny or what? You all know it. You all love it. Rolling Stones, Sticky Fingers. Mine with the official zipper, which I'll have to fix a little later. I knocked some of the material inside. I'll fix it later. Funny, right? I mean, you gotta put Sticky Fingers on this list. Okay, the last two are Beatles ones, and they're fan club only releases. There really isn't too many official funny Beatle covers, so to speak. But there was a series of fan club only issues that parodied the Beatles covers years ago, and I got several of them. Some of them aren't too funny. I mean, the phrases might be funny or the titles, but two of them that I thought were the funniest as far as covers was this one, Withered Beatles. Mine's got a little damage on it, you see. Again, I bought it a long time ago. Withered Beatles. Back's kind of like that, plain, but the front, Withered Beatles. And the last one, I've got to do a little blockade here. I got to block at least one letter, so that way you, I don't want to offend anybody. So let me see how I can do this. Okay, I'll do it like this. How's that? Yeah. Okay. And the funniest of the funny, my last one for the day is this. Again, part of that fan club only series where they parodied Beatle album covers. You got this one. Okay. So, and the back. Just quick. Again, I don't want to offend anybody, but there it is. So there you have it, folks. That's my entry to the funny Beatles album covers. Well, funny Beatles and funny in general. Again, not rip-roaring laughability here, but again, just trying to have a little fun, just trying to get back in the video groove again. I'll be doing some more videos, I hope, within the next week or so, and a store visit soon. And just want to thank you all for your patience, and happy to be back doing some videos. God bless you all. I'll see you soon, and take care. Bye-bye.